Picture an orchard, not a modern commercial orchard with its perfectly straight rows and identical trees. An old orchard. The grass grows high beneath the branches. Wildflowers bloom where they please. Bees drift lazily from blossom to blossom, and every tree seems to have a personality of its own. One apple is tart enough to make your cheeks pucker. Another is sweet, with the faintest hint of honey. One ripens in the heat of August. Another waits until the first cool days of October. No two trees are exactly alike. Now, picture the produce aisle of your local grocery store. Every apple nearly identical. Every bunch of grapes the same. Every tomato almost perfectly round. The bananas uniform in size, shape, and color. The kind of uniformity has become so ordinary that we rarely stop to wonder how it happened. And the answer isn't as simple as science, and it isn't as simple as nature. It is the story of thousands of years of human observation, patience, ingenuity, and necessity. Human beings have been changing plants since the very first gardens. Tonight we're exploring how we changed our food, not to judge the past, not to criticize the present, but to understand it more deeply, because every improvement carries a choice. Every innovation brings a benefit, and every benefit can carry a trade-off. When we understand those choices, we become better gardeners, better consumers, better stewards of the land. Welcome, witches, pagans, heathens, spiritualists, and anyone interested in living sustainably. This is
Old Ways, New Days, where the old ways meet the good dirt.
I'm Kayla.
And I'm Nell. And each week we explore the sacred art of living close to the land. From compost to covens, chickens to charms,
We're reclaiming self-sufficiency, seasonal living, and ancestral wisdom.
whether you're stirring your cauldron or your soup pot,
This is a space for wild-hearted folk walking the homesteading path with intention, magic, and muddy boots.
Hi Kayla,
Hi, Nell.
how's it going?
Good. How's your garden?
It's a garden.
Okay.
It's a flower garden.
Hey, they gotta start somewhere.
Yeah. I do have some of my wildflowers are growing up nicely.
Nice.
Yeah.
I have probably a bushel of tomatoes on my bushes, but they're getting so large. I think I have a few that are like orange, like navel orange size.
Yeah.
But they're not turning red. And it's been so hot.
It has. It has been grossly hot.
So I don't know why. And I probably have about 10 spaghetti squash.
Ooh.
Yeah, the vines are going nuts, and my fiance is coming up with a interesting garden bed design. He wants to put it like 8 feet in the air. So that instead of the squash vines growing on the ground,
They grow
on the they grow down.
Well,
And I'm like, how am I going to get up there to plant the plants?
he's something else.
I know. So
Well, I understand what he wants to do.
oh, I do too.
He wants to build a trellis.
Yes.
And he wants to have them growing up the trellis.
Yes.
So that the plants hang down and all you have to do is pluck them from the sky.
Right.
Which, yes, it does help the plant grow bigger
Mm-hmm.
and stronger. However,
Yeah, having to climb stairs to your garden bed.
I don't think he knows what he's getting himself into.
No, we'll have to tweak his plans, but I'm very happy that he's invested in the garden.
Right.
Because his biggest thing is, well, he goes, well, you just threw squash seeds from a squash we bought in the grocery store in the ground, and then you threw hard black beans in the soil, and we have black bean bushes. He goes, if you can do that, I can only imagine what you can do with a garden box that's perfectly designed.
No garden box is perfectly designed.
I know.
Silly boy.
Right.
Silly boy.
All right, so we are doing episode 2 of our 3-part episode.
Yay.
Yeah.
All right.
So hopefully everyone's ready to learn a little bit more.
Now we're on to the wild plants to dinner plates, right? Mm-hmm. So many people imagine agriculture as something that appeared all at once. One day, humans hunted and gathered. The next day, they were farming. The truth was far more gradual. Our ancestors were remarkable observers. Generation after generation, they watched the wild plants around them. Which grains held on to their seeds instead of scattering them in the wind. Right?
Mm-hmm. In the wind, to the wind.
Oh, to the wind.
Do I need to make it larger? It's at 130%.
Which grains held onto their seeds instead of scattering them to the wind? Which berries tasted sweeter? Which squash kept through the winter? Which beans survived a dry season? Without ever naming it, they became the world's first plant breeders. They weren't trying to conquer nature, they were working alongside it. Each harvest became an opportunity. The healthiest plants gave next year's seed, the strongest corn, the sweetest melon, the largest pumpkin. Little by little, generation after generation, wild plants slowly became the crops we know today. Wild corn, a grass called...
Spelled Teosinte for those listening.
Teosinte.
Okay. Gotta love Google.
Right? It helps. So wild corn, a grass called Teosinte, bore almost no resemblance to the sweet corn on our tables. Its ears were barely longer than a finger. Its kernels locked in hard cases. Wild bananas were dense with large stony seeds. Wild carrots were thin, pale, woody roots. Even the apples of the ancient forest looked nothing like the fruit stacked in the grocery stores today. Agriculture has always involved change. The question has never been whether humans should shape the plants we eat. We've been doing that for nearly 10,000 years. The real question is this: what qualities do we choose to carry forward?
So we're going to talk about why we began changing our food. So imagine you're a farmer in 1850. Your customers just live down the road. You pick the tomatoes in the morning and they're eaten by supper. Flavor is everything. Now imagine you're a farmer 100 years later. Your tomatoes travel hundreds, sometimes thousands of miles. Now flavor is only one concern among many. The fruit has to survive the truck, the warehouse, the distribution center, the grocery store shelf. It has to look appealing under bright fluorescent lights. It has to stay firm for days, sometimes weeks. And suddenly, entirely new priorities take the stage. Shelf life, uniformity, disease resistance, reliable harvests, the ability to travel. These weren't foolish decisions. They fed growing cities. They cut down on waste. They put fresh produce on the table in the dead of winter. Modern agriculture accomplished extraordinary things. And yet, every breeding decision favors some qualities over others. Sometimes flavor slips into second place. Sometimes a beloved regional variety quietly disappears. Sometimes local character gives way to global consistency. Progress is rarely free. Every improvement asks us to decide what matters most.
One of the most common misunderstandings about modern produce is the belief that seedless automatically means genetically engineered. In reality, most of the seedless fruits in the grocery store are not genetically modified at all. They come from traditional breeding, naturally occurring mutations, and centuries of patient observation. Let's start with grapes. Many seedless grapes come from a natural quirk. The seed begins to form, then stops developing very early. The fruit keeps growing. The seed does not. Because these grapes produce little or no viable seed, so they come from traditional breeding, naturally occurring mutations, and centuries of patient observation. Let's start with grapes. Many seedless grapes come from a natural quirk. The seed begins to form, then stops developing very early. The fruit keeps growing. The seed does not. Because these grapes produce little or no viable seed, growers don't plant seeds at all. They root cuttings. Every new vine is a genetic copy of its parent. Watermelons tell a different story. Seedless watermelons are the product of careful breeding. Growers cross plants to create what's called a triploid watermelon, a plant with an uneven set of chromosomes that can't form mature seeds. And here's the part that surprises people. Bees are still essential. Growers plant ordinary seeded watermelons nearby because the triploid vines still need pollen to set fruit. Nature and agriculture still working hand in hand. Bananas offer another fascinating example.
Keep going. I'm going to investigate the kitties.
All right. Wild bananas are packed with hard, rock-like seeds. The bananas we enjoy today descend from naturally sterile variations that people selected simply because they were easier to eat. Modern bananas are grown from underground shoots or increasingly from tissue culture rather than from seed. Many citrus fruits follow a similar path. Some form through a natural process called... Alright, I just had to look at the word as you were saying.
Okay.
Some form through a natural process called parthenocarpy. Nope, that's not right. Process called parthenocarpy.
There you go.
In which fruit develops without fertilized seeds at all. None of these are examples of humans breaking nature. They're examples of humans noticing an unusual trait and patiently working alongside it. You and your big words.
You got it.
Yay!
Long before laboratories, long before electricity, gardeners discovered something remarkable. 2 different trees could become one.
What?
I know. By joining a branch from one tree onto the roots of another, the 2 would heal together and grow as a single plant. The roots gave strength, disease resistance, and a knack for the local soil. The upper branches gave familiar, dependable fruit. This is called grafting, and people have practiced it for thousands of years. Nearly every apple, pear, peach, cherry, and plum you buy today began as a graft. And here's something that surprises almost everyone. If you plant the seeds from your favorite Honeycrisp apple, you will not grow another Honeycrisp. I know, sad to say. Every apple seed carries a brand new genetic combination. Every single seed is unique. Without grafting, the varieties we know and love would slowly vanish. So sometimes cloning isn't about erasing diversity. Sometimes it's about preserving excellence. The challenge is making sure that preservation never becomes limitation. Thousands of apple varieties once grew in the orchards of North America. Today, only a small handful remain in commercial production. But there is good news. Heritage orchards and homesteaders around the world still tend these living treasures, keeping the old varieties alive, one grafted branch at a time.
The word hybrid often carries a note of unnecessary fear. Let's clear that up. A hybrid is simply the first generation created by crossing 2 carefully chosen parent plants. A breeder might cross one tomato prized for disease resistant with another famous for its flavor. The offspring can inherit the best of both.
Or unfortunately, the worst of both.
Right. So hybrids are often wonderfully productive, more vigorous, more reliable, better suited to difficult conditions. The catch comes when a gardener saves seed from a hybrid plant. The next generation usually doesn't grow true. Some seedlings favor one parent, some favor the other. Some turn out entirely unpredictable. That doesn't make hybrids bad. It simply means they're built differently than open pollinated varieties. Both have their place. Commercial growers often lean on hybrids for their consistency. Home gardeners often treasure heirloom and open pollinated plants because they can save seed, season after season, and grow the same beloved plant again. It was never a competition. It's simply choosing the right tool for the right purpose.
Plant breeding today is both an art and a science. Researchers search for the traits that help crops endure an increasingly difficult world. Heat tolerance, disease resistant, drought resilience, better nutrition, longer storage, less waste. These goals matter, especially as populations grow and the climate shifts beneath our feet. A single new variety can take years, sometimes decades. Thousands of experimental plants may be grown and set aside before one proves worthy of a name. It's patient work, often invisible to the people who eat its fruit, and yet it shapes nearly every meal we sit down to. Modern breeding has helped prevent crop failures. It has reduced pesticide use in some cases, improved the reliability of the harvest, and put more food within reach around the world. Those achievements deserve recognition. Perhaps the most important lesson... Just kept going.
Perhaps the most important lesson isn't deciding whether modern agriculture is good or bad. It's recognizing that every system involves trade-offs. We've gained remarkable things, fresh produce all year long, stronger disease resistance, higher yields, a safer food supply. Greater consistency, less spoilage. Those are genuine accomplishments. But we've lost some things along the way too. Many regional varieties have disappeared. Flavor has, at times, taken a back seat to shelf life. We've grown so used to flawless looking produce that we forgot fruit was ever meant to have freckles. Local character has given way to global Local character has given way to global sameness. None of these changes happened because someone set out to make food worse. They happened because agriculture rose to meet enormous challenges. So the question for today's homesteader isn't whether to reject modern agriculture, it's how we protect the very diversity that let agriculture flourish in the first place.
Perhaps this isn't really a story about seedless grapes, or bananas, or apples.
Perhaps it's a story about choice.
Every generation decides what is worth carrying into the future.
Our ancestors carried seeds, not because they feared tomorrow, but because they believed tomorrow deserved something worth planting.
Modern agriculture has given us extraordinary tools.
Traditional knowledge reminds us why diversity still matters.
The future doesn't belong entirely to one or the other.
It belongs to those willing to learn from both.
Whether you garden on 100 acres or a single patio, you become part of that story every time you choose what to grow.
Every seed planted is a vote for the future.
Every variety preserved is another chapter protected.
And every harvest becomes a chance to remember that abundance isn't measured only by how much food we produce, but how many stories we carry forward.
Next time, we will step into the world of heirloom seeds, seed saving, and the remarkable people around the globe working to preserve the incredible diversity hidden inside the smallest packages on Earth.
Because every seed is more than tomorrow's harvest.
It's tomorrow's hope. To be continued.
Ooh.